What's going on? Thanks for checking in. Today we're going to talk about the travel summer baseball scam. I mean circuit, sorry. So if you're on the fence or not about playing summer baseball, this is a video you're not going to want to miss. Make sure you stay tuned, check this one out. All right, before we dive in here, I want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory on, why this video is so important. So here at the gym, here at SummersMethod Performance Center, we are invite only, which means athletes, go to our website and fill out an application process to train here. Biggest question that I ask on that application is how committed are you to getting to the next level? And typically you'll go down through the application, I read them all personally, and you see, hey, at 1 out of 10, I'm a 10 out of 10 committed. And they write out paragraphs on how committed they are. They're willing to die for this game. They grew up with the chip on their shoulder, so-and-so, legit paragraphs. Then when I call these athletes to, tell them, hey, I really liked your application. I think you'd be a good fit. We get a lot of them that say, oh, you know what? I'm playing summer ball this summer, so I can only come 1 to 2 times a week. And the first questions I ask them on the phone is, what do you need to do in order to get to the next level? If they're a pitcher, they always say, I want to increase velo. If they're a hitter, they always say they want to increase their exit velo. And then I ask them, I'm like, where they're at. A lot of them saying, hey, I throw, 78, 82 miles an hour. The numbers simply don't add up. It just doesn't make much sense to me. So if you're saying you're here, right? If you're saying you're a right-handed pitcher that will do whatever it takes to play at the next level, but you're not able to come to the gym more than 2 days a week because you're playing summer baseball, which the goal of summer baseball is to gain exposure, how are you gonna get that exposure, if you only throw 75, 80 miles an hour? The numbers simply don't add up. Kids out there are missing the biggest piece of the puzzle. In today's day and age, they want that instant gratification. They want to get in front of these college coaches and they want to, get these offers from these big time universities and are always worried that, hey, I'm late to the recruiting process. How do I get my name out there? But what they are missing is that prerequisite is, hey, you have to be good enough first. Look at these teams. 95 is the new 90. So you need to be talented enough to play at those levels. So if you're good enough, the golden rule is those coaches will find you. That is their job to find you. But first, you have to be good enough. So signing up here at the facility and only coming 2 days a week, and it doesn't even have to be our facility, any facility out there where that goal is to develop during the summer off season, you're not gonna get what you truly need out of it. So today, I'm gonna try to my best to give you the most black and white answer you could possibly find on whether or not you should be playing summer ball. All right, so let's dive in. Summer ball, right, I already wrote. What is the goal? It is to gain that exposure. That's the ultimate goal of playing summer ball. You go out, play at these certain tournaments on these teams. These college coaches will come, look at players and evaluate them to see if they're go on their whiteboard, on their office, for recruiting and for that offer. So you play summer ball for exposure. So let's take a look here from the beginning. If you're a high school freshman and a high school sophomore, if your goal is to gain that exposure, coaches can't even talk to you until September 1st of your junior year. So you'll be going out playing with a shot of trying to gain that exposure basically for no reason whatsoever because those coaches can't even talk to you till junior year. So if you're a high school freshman or if you're a sophomore, what are the pros and what are the cons of summer ball? And these are the biggest ones that I am bringing to your attention. So what is cool? Summer ball is super fun. I'll give it to you. I had some of the best time of my life playing summer ball, when I was younger, going around to different states, battling it out, learning that competitiveness with my teammates and making a ton of friends. But at what cost? Summer ball is extremely expensive and it really is a scam. Typical thing that a coach does, right? you'll go out to try out for these major summer ball organizations. Everybody that goes to that tryout gets a letter after, hey, congratulations, little Johnny, you made our squad. But in the fine print, the price to join that summer ball team is shown. And the typical price in 2023 was anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500 just in player dues for those teams. That is the average in the United States of America last year. But that is just the dues to play on that said team. You're looking at 3 nights a week at a hotel, and if you're playing 10 travel ball tournaments throughout the summer, that is 3 nights a week in a hotel times 10. Typical night at a hotel on the low end is $100 a night. So you're looking at another $3,000 at the very lowest for these hotel fees. I didn't even put travel fees in here. What if you have to fly? You know, what if you drive across country? You know, gas, everything like that. That's not even in here. So at the very low end for a summer on a typical travel ball team, you're looking, or your parents are looking at anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000 per summer. Most is right around that $12,000 mark. But that can climb way, way higher depending on what travel ball team you are. And guess what? The goal of travel ball sometimes is to win, right? Obviously you want to win with your buddies. So that means that 3 nights a week, if you're a good team, may turn into a 4th night because they play that championship game on a Sunday or on a Monday. So now if you're a really good team, add a tick to that. Now you're 4 nights a week per 10. Let's go average about $12K you're looking at for summer ball. That's a pretty penny, especially if you're not gaining exposure because coaches can't talk to you to September 1st of your junior year. So what is a better use of your money if you're a high school freshman and a high school sophomore? Well, I'm biased, right? We own this facility. We have all these flags on the wall for a reason. All the kids that we've sent to play at the highest level of college baseball, we got the jerseys on the wall for a reason. We know how to develop players. We have a blueprint here that if these kids follow it, they have no choice but to get better. You can get 2 years straight at SummersMethod Performance Center for $12,000. You can get 25 years on our app for $12,000. Heck, you might be saying, hey, I live out in the middle of nowhere. I don't have access to a facility like SummersMethod. You can get a Rogue squat rack, dumbbells, all the weights that you need. You can put a batting cage in your backyard. And hey, you're worried about velo, you're worried about seeing live ABs, you can get yourself a highest tier hack attack, all for $12,000. So you could build yourself a mini facility in your garage that you can use every single day to develop for $12K, okay? And if you can show me that you actually went out and did this and built it, I'll give you a couple months off for our app. So this is gonna be a better use of your money than going out, not developing and not gaining exposure if you're a high school freshman or if you're a high school sophomore. Now let's go into our junior year. So junior year, I have Division I up here because everybody wants to play Division I baseball. That's the highest level. Why are you working so hard if you don't want to play at the highest level? You have to have prerequisites of talent in order to get there. So this is whether or not you decide to play summer ball your junior year. How hard do you throw? What is your exit velo? What tools do you bring to the table that coach may want? And do you pass the eye test? So prerequisites are big in anything that we do in life. And like I said in the beginning of this video, you know, a lot of kids just like to escalate and skip steps for that instant gratification. You have to have those prerequisites. Kids like bringing up a guy like Max Clark who got drafted 3rd overall pick. They want to be, you know, like he was, but they don't understand that Max has the craziest bat speed out of anybody his age. He runs like a 6'3", 60-yard dash, throws 100 miles an hour from the outfield. He has all these prerequisites of talent that you don't really necessarily see, you know, on social media side of things. But kids want to be there, but they don't want to, you know, do the necessary things to get them there. The prerequisites. Whether you like it or not, this is straight facts. I'm sorry. If you want to play Division I baseball, you're a right-handed pitcher, you better be able to throw 90 miles an hour, plain and simple. So first prerequisite, as a pitcher, you need to be able to throw 90 miles an hour. If you're a lefty, maybe you can get away with throwing, you know, 87, 88, play at one of these mid-major schools. But the harder you throw, the better. That's how you're going to stand out in front of these college coaches. If you're a hitter, better be able to hit a ball with at least 100 miles an hour exit velo. 100 mile an hour exit velo. Now, are there exceptions? Yes, of course there are exceptions, but the best way to stand out is to have these attributes. Pitcher, throw 90 miles an hour. Hitter, be able to hit a baseball 100 miles an hour with exit velo. If you can't do this by junior year and your plan is to play Division I baseball, really your only options is to bear down and make it happen. So you're not going to develop at all playing summer ball. That is proven. You're going out, traveling across the country, getting no recovery, eating crappy meals, pitching whenever your coach says, there's no schedule, etc. You need to go to a facility, you need to be on a proper program to get you, to these prerequisites. In junior year, a lot of people say, oh my God, it's super late for recruiting. It's really not that late. A coach is gonna take you if you have these prerequisites. So the best option to do would be, skip out on summer ball, use that summer to develop, and now guess what? Say you're at a private facility, they have a track man, you're reaching this 90 mile an hour number, you get it on video, you share that on Twitter, all those coaches are gonna see that video and reach out to you directly. So spend that time to develop. A lot of the times, if you're close to that number, you can go ahead, play summer ball, but make sure you're still getting your training and development in and try to communicate with that coach on when you are pitching. So if you're a pitcher, right, you're a starting pitcher, you pitch every Saturday. Get that in with that coach so you can get on that routine. So throughout the week, you can be in your facility or doing your program, still developing, and then use that Saturday as another high intensity training day. So try to get in that routine, try to get into that schedule, especially if you're close, because you never know, if you're throwing 87, 88 miles an hour, in a training environment, and then you go out and pitch in front of all these scouts with these guns, the intensity of the game may rise you up, and you may be sitting 90 miles an hour. We've seen that before. But the idea is getting on that schedule, getting all your necessary training in to develop. And another big one, we won't skip over is that eye test. We've asked a lot of coaches about this in the past. I had a professional scout, tell me he looks at players like he looks at females. What does the body look like first? That is their first impression. So they can tell, if you've been in a weight room, and that is the perfect lie detector. If you're fat, if you're out of shape, if you're skin and bones, they can tell that. So make sure you're passing the eye test, especially junior year. When you've passed through puberty, you should be getting, pretty good size on you and turning into a young adult. So all in all, this junior year, how you make that decision on whether or not you should play summer ball, it's basically, how developed are you? Look at it, what team do you want to play for? If you want to play out of Florida, go to Florida's roster, see all the pitchers that they go ahead and play, and you can see where they're at. Division I baseball is getting harder and harder to get into. You better already be developed. With this transfer portal, the game has shifted very recently. And that word that used to hold a lot of weight is the word projectable. It's getting less and less important. Why? Because now, if you're not at your potential when that college coach sees you for their first impression, they may write you off because they know when that year ends, they can just go into the transfer portal and have a list of guys they can pick through that are already proven at the highest level and are ready to go to make an instant impact. So what is going away from the game is these programs getting kids and developing them. They want kids that want to come in and make an instant impact. So they're getting more on the recruiting side, recruiting players, than the developmental side. So with that being said, it's your job to take your development into your own hands and make sure you are ready to go doing the right things, junior, senior year of high school, so that you can step on campus making an instant impact at whatever program you decide to go to. So now let's take a look at senior year. Getting a little bit later in the process here, but that's fine. If you're talented, those coaches are going to end up finding you. So senior year, should you play summer ball? First question is, are you good enough? Do you reach that prerequisite? Are you a senior right-handed pitcher wanting to play at Vanderbilt and you throw 80 miles an hour? Probably not good. Odds aren't in your favor. What bet are you gonna make on yourself? Are you a fringe guy, okay? You're right around that mark, you're almost there. You throw 85 to 88 miles an hour in a game, but you can pitch, you can get outs, your body looks good. Do you play summer ball and go compete and, put up good statistics? Maybe you don't light up the radar gun, but you're a bulldog out there and those coaches, can see that. Is it too late in the process? Are you not being proactive? The only reason it would be too late are a couple reasons. You're not good enough, or you're not being proactive and you're not reaching out to these schools yourself. Back in the day when I was going through the recruiting process, I come from a very small school in central Pennsylvania. I was the only Division I baseball player to come out of our school in the history of the program. How I did that was I was proactive. No coach would come out and find me out there. But what I did was I wanted to play Division I baseball. There was 301 Division I baseball teams at that time. I wrote a customized email with my recruiting video to every single one of those programs starting at my junior year. And guess what? I got one reply. That was the Division I program, and they gave me a scholarship, and then the rest is history. So I was able to come out of that small program, not playing any summer ball whatsoever, just being proactive, getting my name out there, forcing it to happen. These kids think these coaches are just gonna roll out of bed and think about your name, without seeing you. It's getting easier and easier. Make a recruiting video, throw it on Twitter, tag every single coach out there. The squeaky wheel gets the grease in the recruiting process, because guess what? That senior year is very important, because why? These coaches will end their season. If they end their season, in June or the end of May, they're gonna have a lot of kids from that school going into their office saying, hey coach, I'm gonna transfer out, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go to this different program, or they're done playing. They also have a lot of seniors, that were in the red shirt area that may not take their red shirt and get out of the program. So they're gonna have a list of guys that they thought were coming back next year fall off the table May, June. This is where your senior year comes into play, because they need guys to come in right away. And if they're not finding what they need in the transfer portal, or if they're a mid-major Division I that has no really leverage in the transfer portal, they're gonna start going after these seniors, that they have on their radar, because they can come in and start to play right away. So this senior year isn't too late. It's just you gotta fill the need of that program, and it's getting better and better for seniors simply because of that component. Guys are dropping like flies from these programs. If they're not happy with the coach, they'll enter the transfer portal, go somewhere else. It was harder to do that back in the day because you had to get your release from the program, and there was simply a lot more loyalty back then. So don't think it's too late. If you're good enough, start reaching out to these programs, be proactive about it to get your name on a whiteboard if something happens. And squeaky wheel gets the grease, squeaky wheel gets the grease. At the end of the day, if you do have that talent, you can go ahead and walk on to a junior college that is good, that places guys D1 to develop a little bit more. Or, you can bet on yourself and walk on to a program. We had a girl do that in here, Alyssa Reno. It was super late in the recruiting process. It was like August. Kids were already showing up to campus. She really didn't have a place to go, but she decided to bet on herself, walk on at USF, made the team during walk-on tryouts because she was a beast. She was in here busting her ass every day. So she went to walk-on tryouts, blasting balls, then got placed on a team that spring, and then follow this year, coach called her in the office, say, hey, we're gonna give you a scholarship. Worked her ass off, literally enrolled in the school, walked onto the program, good. If you're good enough, they're gonna take you, bet on yourself. Another one that I wanna bring up, Charlie Welch. So drafted by the Mariners, played some good professional baseball, but he bet on himself. He went to a junior college, didn't really do, crazy good. He was short, catcher, not really that strong of an arm, but he believed in himself. He worked his ass off. We put in a year straight in the gym. Then when it was coming, late July, August, didn't really have a program he wanted to go to, did the same exact thing. Walked on to Arkansas, enrolled in the program, went to walk-on tryouts, and made the team and became, the best pinch hitter college baseball has ever seen, hitting a homer every single opportunity he got. And then got drafted by the Mariners. There's a lot of those stories out there. Look at, the guy doing it all right now. 30 jacks already at the time of this video, and May 2nd. Charlie Condon, he was a walk-on at Georgia. Look what he's doing now, because he bet on himself. If you're putting in the work, if you know you have what it takes, if you've reached those prerequisites, bet on yourself, because that's the best bet you'll ever make. With that, we kind of got on a tangent away from summer baseball. But I do agree, yeah, if you're a senior, this is kind of your last go around. If you're not committed, maybe you should play summer ball if you have the talent to get in front of these college coaches, start building that relationship, and get your name on their whiteboard. So when they're pressed, those guys get dropping like flies, you can go to their program. But if you're not being recruited by senior year, don't worry, don't reclass in high school, which is the craziest thing kids are doing these days. Just bet on yourself, go to a program you believe in. There's always going to be options. Or take the JUCO route, develop for 2 more years. You'll be sitting pretty regardless. If you work hard enough, you can force this stuff to happen. You just got to outlast the SHIT storm, like I like to tell my guys. And then when you get to college, that circuit just starts over, because now you have summer baseball in college. If you're a freshman, you can't get drafted until your junior year anyway, so what are you doing playing? If you're a sophomore that, pitched a lot during the season, you don't want to go to play summer ball, to put that excess stress on your arm. You want to develop. If you're a junior and you're right on the fringe, you played a lot your sophomore year, but scouts are saying you want to see you with a wood bat in your hands, go ahead, go to one of these good summer ball leagues so they can see you, hit with a wood bat and see what you do when guys are pumping in the Cape Cod League. So it's all about being real with yourself. Where are you at specifically, in your journey, in your career, and what can you do to just elevate yourself? But what you have to do, no matter what, is develop, during those precious times, during the off-season summer. So make sure you are on a really good strength and conditioning program to build the body up, no matter if you're playing summer ball or not. That is technically the off-season. Yes, it's gonna be harder if you're playing, 60 games over the summer, but you gotta make that a priority any way that you can. And if you want a program to do so, go ahead, click the link in the description. We have our SummersMethod Plus app, specifically designed for youth players, for high school players, for college players, all the way up to pro players. You can start a 7-day free trial. And what's nice about that is if you are playing summer ball, you can knock that off right from your smartphone in a hotel weight room. So we've designed it to scale throughout the world. We got a bunch of players on it throughout the country that's reaching success. Like I said, we have all these flags on the wall in here for a reason. You don't want to take your development for granted this summer, because you're just going to be a step behind everybody else. So hopefully that video cleared some things up for you, whether or not you should play summer ball. And like I said before, that projectability word is kind of starting to get thrown out of the window, because these coaches are ready to win. And they're ready to win now, and they can go get guys ready to go and make an instant impact right out of the transfer portal, especially some of these top programs. So you got to do yourself a favor. You have to take control of your own career, and you need to develop and make sure you're ready to go, because that first impression is everything. If you go up there and you start shoving in front of these college coaches, junior year summer, senior year summer, that's going to go a long, long way, because they know with an investment in you, you're going to take their team, to that next level. So being projectable, that's a very dangerous word. You can gain exposure with summer ball, or you can get exposed. But regardless, you have to be developing during this summer ball off season. The choice is yours, but make sure you're spending your parents' money a little bit more efficiently. Game rewards the grind. It knows how much you've invested.